Hey everybody, welcome. So we're looking at the general training module today and the task 1, which is always a letter. And we are going to look at the informal letter types before. So if you were here a few weeks ago, we looked at the formal letters. So now we're going to look at the other type of letter that you can get. Good. Oh, hi, Ilya. Remember you came before. So specifically, what are we going to be doing in this webinar? So we're going to look again at the 3 different types of letter that you can get and make sure you can distinguish between them. And then how we can organize our letter and how we can start and close that letter. And also the kind of vocabulary, the kind of phrases that are going to work with an informal letter. Okay, because part of your mark in the task achievement, a very important part of your mark in task achievement, is for the tone of the letter, which is it the right, is it informal for an informal letter, is it formal for a formal letter? Okay. So this is the example which we are looking at today, if you just want to have a quick look at that. And while you're looking at it, can anyone give me some information about the general training task 1? What do you know about what you have to do? How many words you have to write? Anything you can tell me? Okay, very good, Sajad. So it's a minimum of 150 words. Okay, very good, Mark. Oh, hey, Mark Tan. You have to cover all of the points given. So remember, you get 3 bullet points and you have to cover all of those points. It's actually advised that you spend 20 minutes on the task 1, but yeah, actually 15 minutes writing it would be good, and then 5 minutes either side to prepare and to check. Very good point, Sajad. Yeah, friendly opening, we're looking at informal language. Okay, so it's always a letter of some sort. Minimum 150 words and suggested 20 minutes to make sure that you have enough time for task 2. You really do need 40 minutes for the task 2. And as we've looked at before, just about to answer the question, Samin, there are 3 types of letter that you can get. Can anyone remember what are the 3 types of letters? There's no maximum word count. Dufu, okay, there's just a minimum. Okay, very good, Rudra. Yeah, so we can have informal, semi-formal, and formal. Okay, so those are the 3 possibilities, or personal we can also call the informal one. Okay, so let's have a look. So if we look at this example, which one of these is it? Is it formal, informal, or semi-formal? Okay, and how do we know that it's informal or personal? Okay, exactly. It will say, write a letter to your friend. Okay, so it's always going to have friend in there somewhere, or yes, Bridges, it could be relative, but it's usually friend. Okay, because that's, you know, more general. Okay, so writing to a friend. Okay, so let's have a look at some different types of letters. So if you are writing to a friend, what could be the reason you're writing? What could be some example letters that they might ask you to write in the task 1? Okay, very good, Samin. So you could be inviting them for any kind of event. You could be giving advice or asking for advice. Very good. That's very true. What other kind? You could be congratulating them on something, yes, or asking for help, making some kind of request. Very good. Making suggestions. That's very common. New information. Maybe you're visiting them. Yeah. Okay. So there's a good range, but it's always going to be something that you could ask a friend. Okay, could be about a favor, some kind of favor. Yeah. So let's look at a few different types of letters. Okay, so I'll just put them up. And then we're going to think about whether these would be formal, informal, semi-formal, or perhaps they could cover all of them. Perhaps they could be any of those different styles. Okay. So this pretty much covers all of the different types of letter, all the different purposes of letters that you might get. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, tell me what you think. So complaint is likely to be, okay. Okay, yes, so very good. Formal. Complaint, it's very unlikely. I think it probably, maybe you could have semi-formal as well, but it's most likely going to be formal, complaining to a company about something. What about inviting somebody? Okay, very good. Samin, yeah. This could really be anything. Yeah, there could be a formal invitation, or it could be semi-formal, or it could be informal. Yeah, so you've got a good range. It could be inviting them to your new house. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Okay. What about an application? If you were writing to apply for a job. Okay, very good, Mark. Yeah, everybody's got that. Could only really be a formal situation in that case. Okay, if you were asking for something. Okay, yeah, good, Mark. Really, that covers a whole range of, so you could be writing to a company to ask information about a product. That would be formal, but you could be writing to a friend and asking them to tell you something about their city, something like that. Yes, you're right, Waleed. That could really cover everything. What about if you were apologizing for something? Okay, very good. Son, really, this again covers lots of different things. It could be a formal apology, but maybe, you couldn't go. I've seen a recent one where you couldn't go to a friend's birthday party and you have to apologize afterwards and explain why. So you could be any style. Okay. Giving some kind of explanation. Okay. Yeah, probably not so formal. I'd be more down the informal side. Yeah, if you're explaining about how something works, it's quite a common one, right? To a friend, they've asked you about the company and you're explaining about what it's like working at your company. Okay. What about making arrangements? Okay, yeah, so very good. Any booking? Really, that could be very formal or it could be very informal. Yeah, okay. And giving information? Okay, very good. Son, yeah, and Ellen and Quincy. Really, that could cover a whole range of situations where you could be using formal language or informal language. Okay, so some of them are more typical for the personal letters than others. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the one that we looked at before. So you're inviting a friend from another country to come and visit you. The situation is that it is your birthday. Okay, so this is a letter to a friend and it's informal. So they always give you 3 bullet points. Okay, so what's the importance of the 3 bullet points? What do you need to remember related to that? Okay, yeah, like Wally, that's, yeah, very good. So you've got to cover all 3 bullet points. Very, very important, fully. And each one you're going to have as a separate paragraph. Yeah. Okay, so your structure is really given to you with the letters, so it's really, really helpful. Okay, so always make a plan before you start. Task 1, task 2. Don't jump straight in. You'll get confused. Just a few minutes to make a plan. Okay. Yes, Bridget. So 3 points in 3 body paragraphs. 1 point per paragraph. We're going to look at the structure in a minute, and it should follow the sequence of the bullet points as they appear in the question. Okay. So first aspect, 2 things you want to do when you're planning. The first one is underline the key words, so you're focused down on what the topic is here. So looking at that task, what would you underline in the task? What do you think is the key information that you've got to be aware of and that you've got to include in your letter? Okay, very good. Yeah, the birthday. Very good. It's a birthday event. Okay, from another country. That's important, that they're coming from abroad. Okay, that it's an invitation. Okay. What else would you underline? Yeah. Okay, spare room. That's important too. That's one of the key points. Yeah. So let's have a look. Yeah. And also underline you're inviting a friend, because that helps you to remember that you are writing an informal letter. Okay. And then underline the key points in the bullet points as well. Okay. So you're telling them something, you're explaining why, and you're offering them your room. So these verbs that are at the beginning of the bullet points, it's very helpful to underline those, because that really tells you the purpose of each of the paragraphs, keeps you very, very focused. Okay, so underline the key words and make sure you underline the verbs at the beginning of each of the bullet points. Okay, yes, very good, Samin. It's you want to tempt your friend to come and visit you. You've got to make it an attractive proposition. Okay. So once you've done that, the next thing is to just come up with the basic information, okay? You need to have this before you start writing, because then you can focus on the grammar, the vocabulary, that kind of area while you're actually writing. You don't want to be thinking about who am I inviting, why do I want them to come, okay? So let's brainstorm some ideas. So what do you think? What's the name of the friend and where do they come from? Think about a real friend that you could talk about. Okay, it's Jane. Yeah. Okay, Sarah from England. Zainab, very good. Yeah. Okay, Johan from the USA. Okay, very good. Sally from Sweden. Great. Okay, Jamie from London. Right name, wrong city. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, and if it helps to think of a real person, in that case, kind of, then, you know, that's great because the information's already there. Yeah. Okay. So we're going with Maria from Greece, and she was a friend from college. Okay. Then we look at the 3 bullet points. So you've got to tell them about your birthday. Okay, Jamie from Edinburgh, remember? So yeah, a date is good. What else could you tell them? They're coming to some kind of celebration. Oh, Zainab, happy birthday for tomorrow. What do you need to tell them about the celebration? What are you going to do for your birthday party? Okay. Okay, we're getting a lot of dates. That's good, but let's have okay, today, happy birthday, Louise. Everybody's got their birthday. You don't need to write an address, Bridget. There's no address necessary. Okay, what kind of things could we do on our birthday parties? Which birthday is it as well? So what are you turning? Okay, we're going to party. Very good. 21st birthday party. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Maybe a pool party. Very nice, Vladimir. Okay. Local food, candles. Yeah, maybe you got some kind of theme going. Restaurant. Could be a restaurant. Could be at home. Maybe you talk about the kind of food. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so we've gone for 30th birthday. You're going to have dinner, and then you're going to have karaoke. Okay, very good. So, I mean, goodie bags for the guests is very important. Okay. Happy birthday for the 1st of May, Brajesh. Okay, so then you have to explain why you want them to visit. So what could you put in that paragraph? Why do you want them to visit? Okay, very nice. Do food, discover my country, enjoy the climate. Okay, discover African food, fantastic. What else could you say, which would be reasons why you want this person to come? Remember, they're coming from, as Samin said earlier, you've got to tempt them. Okay, spending some time together. You haven't seen them for a long time. Very good. Yeah, reunion, some kind of family reunion. Okay, long time since college. Meet other friends. Show you my beautiful country. Fantastic. Yeah, very, very good. Okay, so the reason we've gone for is you were looking at some old photos. You want to catch up. It's been a long time. And okay, exactly as quite a few other people said, so you're reuniting with old friends. Very good, Syed. Could be to then talk about future plans. Okay, very good. And then the last bullet point is you're going to offer your friend your spare room to stay in. So what kind of information could you put in that paragraph? You need to expand that a little bit. Why are you offering their spare room? Okay, very nice. So it's nice and private for them to stay in the spare room. It's very relaxing to stay at someone's house, maybe. Feeling at home, very good, Sajid. Yeah, okay, it's cheap. That's a very good reason. That's very good, Ilya. Yeah. Okay, and you get to see more time. You get to see each other for more time, Jane. That's right. Okay. So we've got lots of space, so it's no problem. You can pick them up from the airport and bring them right to your house. Okay, but all of those are really good ideas. Yeah. So for the main idea and for each of the bullet points, just jot down a couple of words. Make sure you know what you're going to put in the paragraph before you start writing. Okay. Very good. Okay, so we were talking about the structure before, so let's look at that in more detail. So what's the typical structure for a letter? What do you need to put at the beginning? How are you going to organize your letter? Okay, very good, Vladimir. So we're going to put the greetings at the beginning, or the salutation, yeah. Then we're going to have an introduction. Okay, yeah, then we're going to, yeah, so that's the purpose, remember, very, very important to give the purpose. After that, we're going to do the, okay, yeah, the details, very good. Yeah, that's right, Patricia, the purpose is the reason why you're writing to them. Then we're going to have our 3 body paragraphs, so remember 1 body paragraph for each bullet point, very, very important. When we've given all the details, then what do we need to put at the end? 2 things we need to put at the end. Okay, very good. Yeah, sort of, yes, signing off. So some kind of closing statement. You always need to have something at the end to close with, and then you sign off. Okay, so it's the same as the formal letter. You know, the structure is the same. Greeting, purpose, the details in the 3 body paragraphs, closing statement, and a sign off. Okay, but obviously we're going to be using different phrases, different language for this. Yeah, perfectly fine to use idioms. I mean, this is informal language, remember. We're going to look at the language in a little bit more detail in a moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is look at some example phrases, things that you would write in a personal letter or an informal letter. And I want you to tell me which section you think they should go in. Yes, right, Syed, definitely contractions. So where would we put best wishes? Yeah, okay, at the end. Yeah, it's actually the sign off. Remember, the closing is still part of the letter, and the sign off is like the salutation. So yeah, best wishes. Okay. How are you? Okay, good. Yeah, that's right at the beginning, just sort of saying hello. Okay. Can't wait to hear from you. Okay, very good. That's a good, nice way to end. So, you know, like looking forward to hearing from you, but it's a very informal expression. Exactly right, Syed, just before the sign off. Okay. Party's going to be great. Okay, yeah, this is in the body paragraph. This is where you're going to introduce your details about the party. So something to just start that, and then you'll go into the dinner, the karaoke. Okay, exactly, the appropriate body paragraph. So yeah. Okay, I thought I'd get in touch to ask. Okay, very good, guys. Very good. Yeah, this is how you're introducing the purpose of the letter. Very, very, very important. Okay. All of these should be separate paragraphs. Yeah. There's going to be one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 paragraphs all together, even though some of them are obviously just going to be very slight. But there should be a division between each of these parts. Okay. Okay. Sorry it's been so long. Okay, very good. Greeting. Yeah, it's quite short. So, I mean, we'll look at an example in a moment. Yeah. Okay. All the best. Okay, very good. Signing off. Okay, that's just before your name. Okay. You're welcome to stay at my place. Okay, okay, we're gonna, but really, that's in the body paragraph. Remember, the last bullet point was about the spare room. So again, this is like an introduction where you can explain why it's okay to stay at your place. Okay. Thanks so much for your letter. A bit of down here. Yeah, this is the greeting. Okay. So depending on the situation, it can be very nice to say, thanks for writing. Thanks so much for your letter. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that. Okay. Yeah, very good. That's the purpose. Okay. You're going to continue that with the reason why you are writing to them. Okay. How about that one? Let me know if I can help at all. Okay, very good. Closing. Yeah, just a nice sentence to finish off, general sentence to finish off the letter. Okay. And if you have a look at that, so that's all informal language that we're using there. Okay. So just make sure that you divide up your letter into those different parts and make the difference between the parts very clear. I would always leave one line blank between each part. Okay. So let's look at a little bit more closely at the greeting and the sign off. Okay. So how can you start an informal letter? What's the very first thing you're going to say? Okay, good. Hi. Yeah, hello. Okay, very good. Hey, even if you know you're good friends, or you can give their name. Okay, Francis is there. Hello, Francis. Yeah, howdy. Maybe. I quite like that one. Yeah. Okay, so those are all good possibilities. What you don't want to put is dear friend. Okay. Hello, buddy. I like that. That's nice too. And any of these formal greetings, obviously that's completely wrong here. So just hi, Jane. Hey, Jane. Dear Jane. Okay. And how about when we finish the sign off? How could you sign off an informal letter? Okay, yeah. Okay, very nice. Cheers. I like that. Warm regards, best wishes, lots of love. Okay, yeah, with love, that's nice too. Yeah. Yours truly is a little bit formal, I would say, actually. Okay. So see you soon, all the best wishes, love, lots of love, anything like that will work very nicely. Okay. Okay, or best regards. Don't use yours sincerely or yours faithfully. Remember, those are very formal ways. Waiting for you anxiously. That's great. I love that, Samin. Very good. Okay, so make sure you're not using any of those formal expressions that we looked at before when we were looking at the formal one. Okay. So, and don't forget to put your comma after the names, okay, and after the endings. All right, so that's the greeting and the sign off. So we got the very beginning and the very end. Yours lovingly, Haida, that's very nice as well. So now the opening. So remember, you have probably just one line, but you are going to say the purpose of the letter. Again, one of the key things in the task response, in the task achievement, is that there is a clear purpose to the letter. So put it right at the beginning, okay, and keep it in a separate paragraph and keep it fairly short, okay. You could put an exclamation mark after, if you say, hi, Jane, you could put an exclamation mark. That would be fine. Yeah, okay. So remember that we looked at some of the purposes before. You might be inviting, you might be apologizing. Okay, there's a few different things that you can be doing. And because it's a letter to a friend, you don't want to just have a very cold opening. You need to have something quite warm. So you just have a little bit of what we call a small talk or chit chat at the beginning, okay, which is maybe like you haven't seen them for a long time or something like that, okay. All right, so you've done your opening, you've said hi Jane or something like that. So what would you put in your opening paragraph? How can you give a little bit of something informal, just a nice way to start? Okay, very nice. How are you? Where have you been since we last met? How have you been? Okay, all right. Hope you're enjoying good health. Very nice. Hey, Jane, been a minute. How are you and the cats doing? Excellent. I like that. Okay, very good. All right, so that's how it's some general small talk, and then you've got to introduce the purpose of the letter. Very nice, Mercy. It's been a very long time. Okay, yeah, I'm writing to invite you. I'm sure you're pretty fine. Okay, no, we've got to be very informal-ish, yeah, okay. So we'll find you in good health. Okay, hope you're doing good. Okay, so okay, we've got something up here. Now, have a look at this. Something not quite right about this opening. So what's not right? You could say I've missed you so much. That's fine. That's perfect. Yeah, so there's things. So what, generally speaking, yes, Vladimir. So we have here, it's written in a formal way, okay? So in this case, the tone is not correct for a letter to a friend. Okay, so it's very much in a formal style. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the things that we would need to change and then what we would replace them with. Okay, so let's first of all think about the vocabulary. Yes, you're right about them. So if you look just at the vocabulary, what do you think is wrong there? So yeah, Ms. is definitely wrong. So we just want to say, hi Maria or dear Maria. And you're right, there isn't very much chit chat. What other vocabulary is quite formal sounding in the first part? Okay. Okay, if you would like to, apologize. Yeah, very good. Okay, anything else? Yeah, so Ms. So we're going to turn that to dear, just dear Maria. We're going to get on to, you're right, Vladimir, we're going to get that onto that in a moment. Yeah, so apologize for the delay in writing to you. Very formal. So how could we say that in a less formal way? Yeah, you might apologize if that's quite common to friends, but sorry it's been so long. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry for not getting in touch with you. That's quite nice. So yeah, sorry it's been so long since I last wrote. Okay. You must be mad at my silence. Very nice. I like that. Okay. And then, as you said, contact me if you would like. Very formal. Great if you're writing to a company. Not very good if you're writing to a friend. So how could we say that in a much more friendly way? Okay. What's an informal way of saying contact? Okay, get in touch is nice. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'd love to have you here to visit me, Rudra. That's very nice. Okay. Yeah. So get in touch. Great way of saying contact. Okay. Come over for a visit. Yeah. So come over for a visit is a nice informal way of saying it. Okay. So make sure that the vocabulary, first of all, is informal. And then, as Vladimir pointed out a little bit before, we've got linking words in here which make it more like an academic essay. So what linking words do we need to get rid of? Okay, therefore and however. Good. So what could we replace however with? Okay, very good. Deep T, yeah, or anyway works, but just, but because you're writing to a friend, you're not going to use those kind of linking. By the way works as well, or anyway. What about therefore? How could we replace? Okay, yeah, very good. Yeah. So I thought I'd get in touch to see you. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine to use dear with friends as well. That's fine as well. Yeah. And secondly, contractions. I think somebody mentioned this at the beginning. So which words there could you contract? We've got it's been, so we've got it has, we've contracted. Okay, very good. Yeah, so, okay, yeah. Good. So it's, I'd, and you'd. Okay, so make sure that you're using all of the kinds of contractions that you would use if you were speaking to someone. Okay, so vocabulary, the way that you link the ideas, and using contractions, those are all key things to remember to make sure we, that it's informal. Semi-formal, I tend to be more on the formal side, actually. But contractions are fine for informal letters. It's fine to use colloquialisms, kind of slang. That's totally fine. Okay. So let's have a look now at the body paragraphs. So we've got our 3 bullet points here, and we've already got our ideas for the detail that we're going to put. Okay. So we're going to make some paragraphs for each point. Okay. Main thing to do, introduce the idea. So right at the beginning of the paragraph, the key information, you're explaining why you're offering, you're telling them about the birthday, and then give some more details. Okay. Full supporting evidence is part of the full development of the bullet points, is part of your task achievement. Okay. All right. So, and make sure that you have 1 paragraph for each point. Really, really important. Okay. So if you remember when we had our ideas at the beginning, we said it's our 30th birthday, we're going to have dinner, and then we're going to follow that with karaoke. Okay. So let's look at what we can write for that. Okay. So I'm going to give you the introduction and I'd like you to finish the paragraph. So in this first one, we're just talking about our birthday party. All right, so as it's my 30th birthday, I thought we could, how could we finish that sentence? I thought we could, okay, we could get together. Okay, I thought we could plan a get together, we could meet up. Any other ideas? Have dinner with a couple of friends. Very nice. Couple of, very good. Catch up. Okay. Keep the greeting and purpose separate, Jane. Yeah. Hang out, have some fun, relax. Okay. Very nice. Mercy. Yeah. Okay. We've got to do something special. Okay. Very nice. Cushy. Exactly right. Yeah. Okay. So far, the plan is to, how could we complete that sentence? Is to chill. Okay, celebrate my birthday. Remember, you got to put the detail in now. Okay, have a small party. Okay. Remember what we talked about? Okay, invite some people over. That would be nice. Yeah. Okay, so we've gone, go out for a fancy meal at Ben's restaurant. It's the pool party again. Definitely going to have a pool party. Okay, so fancy meal at Ben's restaurant. Then we'll, what's the last thing we're going to do? Remember what time? Go for a walk. Okay, go for a dance. Go and sing at karaoke. That is what we talked about. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Bridget, I'm not quite sure. A strip club. Well, we could, but okay, we'll go out to a karaoke bar and okay, see where the night takes us. Okay, and then you're just checking, is that a good idea? How does that sound? Beach party, very nice idea as well. Okay. So we've got a full development, lots of detail. That's what you want to remember with the with the letter for the general training task 1, that detail is really, really important. Don't be vague, be very clear and very specific. Okay. So let's go back and think about how we've made this informal. Okay, what we were looking at before. So we've got some phrasal verbs. We've got go out. Yeah. What else can you see there that's quite informal? Okay, very good. Sajad, a fancy meal. So that's a very colloquial expression. We're going out for a fancy meal. Yeah, the last sentence is very informal. See where the night takes us. So that's an idiom that we're using. Do something special as well. Okay. Yeah, how does that sound? Very good. So, very good. So we've got informal vocabulary like fancy so far. Very good, Melissa and Elia. And idioms like see where the night takes us. Okay, it's great. Very good, Samin. We've also got, we've also got contractions as we talked about before. So we've got wheel, yeah, and it's. So we're using all of that kind of vocabulary. Okay. Yeah, it's okay because there's not really anything else. And remember, this is informal, so you would write as you would write to a friend. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's the first body paragraph. Yeah, it's fine to use contractions. It's fine to use contractions. I'm just looking at Mercy's question. If it's relevant, Mercy, if you can make it part of the reason why you're telling them, then, but you know, make sure that everything you put is very relevant to the bullet point. Okay. So let's now have a look at the second one. So remember, we were looking at old photos, thinking about when we graduated. Can we draw a small bottle of champagne somewhere on the paper? Yes, why not? Why not? I would do that if you have time, but maybe not if you don't have very much time. Okay, and there's somebody got married. Okay, so let's go into the detail. Okay, so we're giving you the beginning with the informal expressions. So these are like our introductory phrases, same as you have for everything. So how can we continue that? It would be great if, what can we say? Okay, it would be great if you could visit my place. Be great if you, how else could we finish that? Yeah, if remember, we need, after, if we need to have a sentence together, you make it to my crib. Yeah, come to my home, come over. Abbas, very good. Yeah, okay, good. So you're telling them about that. Yeah, so it'd be great if you could make it over. Yeah, or come over, visit, something like that. Okay, so a little bit more detail. I was looking at, how can we complete that sentence? I was looking at, okay, very good. I was looking at some old photos, some old photographs. I was looking at our school photographs. Yeah, very nice. Okay, we could relive those old moments. Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay, so I was looking at the photos from our graduation party, our yearbook, very good, Gimbia, yeah, and I got nostalgic, Rudra, very nice, yeah. So many amazing memories we put, yeah, okay. Then we introduce some other people, so this is another reason why you want them to come, okay. Do you remember Rosie and Paul from the course? Okay, they're getting married, so they'll be at the dinner too. So you've given them 2 reasons here why you want them to come. Okay, so you're feeling nostalgic and catching up with some friends. All right, so again, detail, detail, detail. You're just inventing this, but you know, it's important to make it as specific as possible. Okay, so good. So why don't we, can we look at some of the informal language here again? So just have a look at that and just put a note up of anything you can see there that's informal vocabulary, contractions. Okay, very good. Yeah, and do for make it over. So phrasal verbs, catch up, Marlissa, exactly. What else can you, okay, very good. Yeah, exclamation marks, very good to use exclamation marks in the informal letter only. It's the only time in the writing you're going to be able to use that. Okay, yeah, getting married. Okay. Anything else? Okay, good. So yeah, we've got phrasal verbs, make it over, catch up, as you said. We've got the other day, nice informal type of vocabulary, yeah. Lots of exclamation marks, yeah, question marks, things like that. Okay, so lots of examples of informal language, okay? And in each case, you're introducing the detail with a clear phrase, okay? So you're making it very easy for the examiner to follow what you're saying, okay? It's just as important with the informal letter as it is with the task too. Make it easy for the examiner to know what you're doing in all of your sentences, okay? So now we're on to the last bullet point. So remember, you were inviting them to stay in the spare room and meeting them at the airport. Okay, so we're just going to look at this quite quickly. So you're welcome to stay over at mine while you're here. Okay, plenty of room. Nice expression. I'd be happy to pick you up at the airport. Okay. Okay, again, just let me know what time you're arriving. All right, so detail, detail, yeah. So we've got lots of contractions. Everything is contracted that can be. Phrasal verbs, stay over, let me know, pick you up, okay. Plenty of is quite informal as well, yeah. So good informal language there, okay. So if you look at this here, we've put everything together. So we have our greeting, our salutation. Then we have our small talk and purpose separate. Then we have our body paragraphs, 3 separate paragraphs. Then we have our closing. But again, this is a little bit formal, the closing. So how could we change that just a little bit so that we could make it a bit more informal? Okay, hugs is nice. Just a closing statement. Okay, can't wait to see you. Yeah, see you soon. Something like that. Yeah. Or can't wait to hear from you. Very good. Looking forward to hearing from you. Yeah. Okay. Really, really nice. Okay. So, that's it. That's the end of that. So you can have a look at the full letter as we go through the Q&A session. Okay. Oh, you're muted.
Let me unmute myself. There you go. Thank you so much, Annalie, for that fantastic presentation. If you'd like to join me in saying a big thank you to Annalie for presenting. So thank you very much. And it has been excellent to hear some of your replies and your example answers as well. There have been some really great expressions like English slang that very few native speakers maybe even know. So things like "come back to my crib" or "it's been a minute." Like this is very possibly a little bit too informal actually for the writing. It would be fine for speaking, but I think there's a chance the examiner might think it's too much slang. But fantastic expressions anyhow. So we have quite a few of your questions to go through. I think we can start looking at your Q&A. If you do have any extra questions you'd like to ask, feel free to put them in the Q&A now. You can vote for the questions that you'd like us to answer. The most popular questions we'll answer first. So we have a few questions from Sajad, who got his questions in early, Annalie, so maybe we can look at some of them. Sajad is asking, well, he said that I unfortunately missed the webinar on speaking. I think that was 2 weeks ago. And he has his test on the 23rd of April, so that'll be next week. Could we give him some tips for the speaking section? My first tip, Sajad, would be to take a look on our website, on our Facebook page even, and you can review the webinar on speaking. We have 2 webinars on three webinars actually now on part 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So if you go through our Facebook page, you'll be able to find them. I don't know, Annalie, if you would like to give him any brief tips on how to improve his speaking before the 23rd.
Yeah, so give full answers to every question, say as much as you can. Don't worry if the examiner stops you. That's related to their timekeeping. It's nothing negative for you. Remember, it's a speaking test. So again, like we've been looking at today, informal language, contractions, colloquialisms are totally fine. Make sure your answer has structure, particularly the part 3. So sort of introduction, example, reason, that kind of thing. And don't speak too quickly. Okay, that's very important. Fluency is not about speaking really fast. Speak evenly, speak steadily, stress your keywords, make sure your point is clear.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Absolutely. I'll take this opportunity to promote our IELTS speaking evaluation service, which we offer on our website. It's a paid-for service where you can book a session with a speaking examiner, and they will guide you through a mock speaking test and then give you feedback on your performance. So this is a really good way to improve your speaking score ahead of your test. I've put the link to that in the chat as well, so you can check that out. Another question from Sajad, which is about the letter writing. So if it's an informal letter, and we're told to begin with dear, the salutation dear, should we change that salutation to hi or hello, or should we stick to the one that we're given in the question?
Yeah, you are given that. It won't make any difference if you change it. All of them are totally acceptable for informal. Dear Maria, hi Maria, hey Maria, that will be completely fine. So it doesn't matter, just choose the one that you want to choose.
Okay. If you're given, because often some of the tasks say, begin your letter with dear, would you recommend just maybe staying with the one that they suggest?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I think the reason that they say that is because they don't want you to write an address and a date and and all this kind of thing. So you begin with the salutation. You don't begin with anything else. But yeah, I mean, better to be safe than sorry. Just put dear and make sure you continue in the correct way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, we have a question from Rudra here, who says they have difficulty thinking about enough ideas, and then they end up losing a lot of time while they're thinking. Any suggestions for helping to get ideas for the writing?
Yeah, a couple of things. So first of all, like we said right at the beginning, if you can think of a real situation, then that's going to help you because you're just remembering facts rather than having to invent information. So think about a birthday party that you had before where you invited somebody. The other thing to do, I think, is to look at as many different examples of tasks as you can. Think about how you would answer them. Same type of thing tends to come up quite frequently. So if you've done that preparation beforehand, you're likely to have the ideas when you're in there. Yeah, so preparation is important.
Yeah, definitely. Another question from Sajad, who is asking if this is to do with semi-formal letters, and there's a few questions about this, so I think it's be a good topic to discuss. They are asking if your letter is semi-formal, can we sign off with yours sincerely or not? What will be the sign off for a semi-formal letter?
Yeah, if you are writing to a neighbor or somebody like that, because there's two situations. Basically, with a semi-formal, you're often writing to somebody you know, but the situation is maybe a bit of a delicate one. So you might be making a complaint or something like that. Okay, so in that case, you could use something like best wishes, which is neither too formal nor too informal. Or best regards. So that would be the most appropriate in that situation.
Yeah. From what I've heard, some instructors recommend kind of ignoring the semi-formal category altogether and kind of, if it's semi-formal, treating it as a formal letter. Would you say that's good advice? Or?
Yeah, I think it's better to go more on the formal side than the informal side, because if you think about it, it's the situation is a very delicate situation usually. So you want to be very polite, and being formal is a way of being very polite. So if in any kind of doubt, go formal. Okay, it won't say a friend if it's formal or semi-formal.
Yeah, great. I have a question from Monica in the chat, who's asking, do we have any Writing Task 2 webinars coming up? And I can answer that one. Monica, we're planning to have a Writing Task 2 on May the 9th. We'll be looking at agree, disagree essays. We'll also be looking at academic task 1 next week as well, describing maps. So I'll put a few more details about the webinars in the chat in a moment, but May 9th for writing task 2. Okay. Question here from Arakan, who is asking, do we have to finish the first task of the exam within 20 minutes? Or are we allowed to use some of the rest of the time to complete it? Or will we, be made to stop and move on?
Yeah, it's not compulsory. You're given both tasks at the beginning of the writing test, and you have an hour to complete them both. But the advice is that you really need 40 minutes for the task 2. It's more complicated, it's longer. is weighted in favor of the task 2. So, you know, you need to really get your good score on the task 2. So the advice is to not spend any more than 20 minutes on the task 1, but it's not compulsory. You have an hour for both.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A question from Fab. Hello, Fab. I would like to know, how does the word count in writing part? Where have you gone, Fab? Your question has... it's been upvoted. There you go. How does the word count in writing matter? Do we actually need to stop with the particular word count, or can we exceed the word count by a few words?
Yeah, the word count is a minimum. Okay, so you have to be over, in the case of the task 1, over 150 words. Okay, there is no maximum. But again, you know, time constraints, things like that are going to affect how much you write, and also being focused and being relevant. But it's a minimum, so you do need to be over 150. Not by much, but you definitely need to be over it. And if you're under the word count, you really lose a lot of marks. So it's a really big issue to be under the word count.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, aim to go over if you can. We are coming up to the end of the time we have. I'd just like to mention the question from Annie Boken, who's asking, do we have a video for formal letters? And Annie Boken, yes, we covered this topic maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was three weeks ago. That is, the recording is on our Facebook page as well. The link to that is in the chat. So if you scroll down through the Facebook page, you'll be able to find the video on formal letters as well. I'd just like to mention, we also have a premium writing evaluation service as well. So if you'd like an IELTS examiner to check your writing for you and to give you more detailed feedback, you can visit our website via the link and submit your essay through the website. So that's also an option for you. I'm afraid that is all we have time for this week. It went by very quickly. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for attending this week. It's been a pleasure to be working with you on this. And thank you very much to Annalie for presenting and fielding the questions. So thank you very much. We'll be back next week after an Easter holiday. For those of you celebrating Easter, hope you have a nice weekend. We'll be back next week with the topic on describing a map for academic task 1. So hopefully we'll see you then or in a future webinar. And yeah, and best of luck to everyone who has their test next week.
Best of luck, everybody. Happy Easter. Okay, bye-bye. Happy birthday as well to everyone who had their birthday. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone. See you again.
Bye. Bye-bye.